Welcome to Fashion and Fiction Fun. I'm your host, Wendy Kendall, and this is episode 2, part 2 of a fabulous interview that I'm having with Erica Miner. And I'm going to tell you all about her uh, as I introduce her. But first, let me just tell you that all of this started, this podcast and everything, as a result of my love of fashion and especially my passion for purses, mystery, and romance. I am an author. I've got 5 books out. I'm working on book 6, and it's the In Pursuit Mysteries. You can find out all kinds of stuff about me on my website, wendywritesbooks.com. And I'm tuning up for, I guess we had like an intermission between the 2 episodes. And I hope you caught episode 1, because now I'm tuning up for episode part 2 after the intermission. Pursuit of Fashion and Fiction with Erica Miner, violinist turned author. Having a little here.
Okay. Let me know if you want me to record this part, because I can.
We're going to just go ahead. I think people have probably seen enough of me, at least for now. Erica is a violinist turned author. She has a multifaceted career as an award-winning author, screenwriter, journalist, and lecturer. A native of Detroit, she began her studies of violin with Boston Symphony Orchestra concertmaster Joseph Silverstein at Boston University, where she graduated cum laude. She's performed with such celebrated conductors as Leonard Bernstein and Eric Leinsdorf. Erica went on to perform with the prestigious Metropolitan Opera Company for 21 years, where she worked closely with renowned maestro James Levine. Author Erica Miner's highly intuitive writing runs the gamut of genres: novels, screenplays, and articles for major arts websites. Her music, poetry, and writing reflect her own life's experiences. Taking main stage now is Erica Miner's exciting series of Julia Kogan opera mysteries. These are wonderful mysteries in striking settings and memorable characters. The entire series is being republished by Level Best Books, starting with Aria for Murder. And you can find out more at her website, ericaminer.com. Welcome back, Erica Miner.
Thank you, Wendy. Here we go again, part 2, act 2. How about that?
For those that I didn't realize, and so they need to go back to part 1, can you just catch them up a little bit? Tell them a little bit about your series of books.
Sure. So in book 1 of my Julia Kogan opera mystery series, Aria for Murder, violinist Julia Kogan is just starting out as a neophyte in the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra. She's in awe of being able to perform at the world's most prestigious opera house, but also somewhat naive in her real-world experience. So when her mentor, a conductor, is assassinated on the podium, her carefully constructed world begins to fall apart. She takes a leap of faith to investigate and find the killer, but soon realizes she may be the killer's next victim. In the end, Julia discovers an inner strength she didn't know she had, and that's what allows her to survive. So in book 2, Julia goes to Santa Fe to be concertmaster of the opera for the summer season and finds danger lurking both inside and outside the opera house, which is an outdoor theater. The mysterious setting allows for much intrigue and surreptitious activity. For instance, did you know there are supposedly more ghosts in Santa Fe than anywhere else in the US? In book 3, Julia heads to San Francisco Opera to take the place of their concertmaster, who has been seriously injured under mysterious circumstances. As Julia unravels the reasons why, she becomes entangled in multiple murder investigations. All in all, in this series, I set out to prove that opera can kill you.
I absolutely love that line. Okay, I'm going to try and pop back in. What is one of your favorite operas to perform, Erica? One of your favorites, and why is that special to play? And what is one of your favorite operas to listen to? And what appeals to you in that?
When it comes to favorite operas to perform, first and foremost, anything by Mozart. He was such a genius at writing for all the instruments and also an excellent violinist. So his violin writing is a joy to play. But my favorite opera to listen to overall is Puccini's Manon Lescaut. It was his first big hit just before his famous La Boheme. And in it, you hear all his youthful ebullience with gorgeous tunes and a story that just tears your heart out. It's the epitome of opera.
Okay. What is a favorite purse that you would carry to an opera performance? And maybe you can even show us a glimpse.
We'll have to settle for describing it because it's kind of, I haven't used it in a while, but I will describe it to you so you can
Well,
picture
you're an author. You're an author, so you'll be able to describe it. We'll be able to visualize it.
I think you can. It's actually not that different from the beaded one that you showed, but I'll get to that in a minute. First of all, if I'm in the pit, I'll bring a purse that holds all the necessities: comb or brush, lipstick, Kleenex, and lots of throat lozenges, because after all, you can't afford to be having a coughing fit and upstage the heroine dying from consumption on stage. For our orchestra concerts on stage at Carnegie Hall that we do, I have a little black sequined number that goes perfectly with black attire. It's small, but it's really sparkly, which for me on stage is more likely to be a long black skirt or a dress, because it's important to look really elegant when you're in front of an audience, front and center. If I'm attending an opera as part of the audience, I take something smallish that can hold just a few necessities, key necessities, because, you know, you're right next to your neighbor and you don't want to be infringing on their territory.
It's very true. And just a reminder, because in episode 1, Erica really spilled some secrets and everything about costumes backstage, things that you really, the insider knowledge. So highly recommend that you go back and listen to her descriptions of the costumes, not only on stage, but for the symphony players and also for the audiences. So I'm just going to say that. And then Erica, so with my love of purses, I was delighted to find out there is actually an opera featuring a purse.
So
And it's so amazing. It's known by a few titles, including the jewelry purse and also the title the unicorn purse. And it's one of the most popular Peking operas. So it started as a play in the 1940s. And in 2015, it took that long for it to come as an opera to the West. And it was made an American debut at some place that I think you know rather well, Lincoln Center in New York City. So in the plot, on her wedding day, the bride receives a purse full of jewels from her mother. And let me just say, in my research about purses, it is oh so common that mothers and grandmothers gift their purses to their daughters, granddaughters, and other relatives and friends. And those purses are so meaningful to people. It's really giving a piece of yourself. And so they're really treasured. And often they become, in a woman's collection, absolutely her favorite. And because purses are so very personal, that was the idea behind my Catherine Watson opening personality museum in my mystery novel and in the series. And the museum displays purses through history, and through that way also tells the history of women. And it was inspired by, there's actually 3 purse museums in the world. And one of them is in Little Rock, Arkansas, and it's called Essay Purse Museum, ESSE. And so I went there and did a lot of research and met the owner Anita Davis, who's just an amazing woman, and all of her staff. They love my book, how it came out. They even wrote something in the foreword for me. And so, yeah, so, you know, purses, they're in opera, they're in history, they're everywhere. But anyways, in this purse opera, the bride's wedding procession stops at this pavilion, and she hears this woman sobbing, but they can't see each other. But she reaches out to her, you know, are you all right? You know, can I do anything to help? Well, this other woman is also getting married, but she's sad about it because she doesn't want to leave her family, and also it's not a family. There's not going to be any wealth. She doesn't think there's much future. She's feeling hopeless, so she's very upset. And so the first bride, oh dear, so the first bride is she's very touched, and she gives the woman her purse as a gesture. And the woman is so touched to receive this gift. She gives back everything that's in the purse to the woman, but she keeps the purse and she really treasures it. And 6 years later, there's this terrible flood, and the bride who gave away her purse is separated from her family. She can't get back or anything. She ends up at this house. They take her in, and she starts working for them. And lo and behold, what does she find in this house but her purse that she gave to this woman? And she finds out, then they find out that they did know each other, and that really is her purse. And they're so excited to be reunited. So, anyways, it's just funny to have the purse be such a central piece of this. So
it just goes to show that in opera, art imitates life.
Beautiful. Love that. All right. Now, Erica, can you tell us about one example of backstage costuming playing a part in the setting of your intriguing mystery series?
Yes, well, I had a lot of fun with this one in book 2 at Santa Fe Opera. The very annoying lead soprano that everyone hates because she argues with everyone, the director, the conductor, her lead tenor, the wardrobe and wig directors, the prop master. She has a temper tantrum on stage in the middle of a rehearsal in front of everyone because her $1,000 shoes that she ordered, special ordered from Italy, have not arrived yet, and she refuses to perform. She's like, but my dear, I can't possibly perform without my shoes. So actually that was based on a real incident at the Met when one very famous soprano had ordered a pair of very expensive shoes directly from Italy, and they did not arrive in time for the first rehearsal, and she was making noises about refusing to perform. Of course, she ended up performing anyway, but that's the kind of thing that happens, and it's so much fun to then put it in a mystery.
Wow, I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm going to ask, would you treat us to a brief reading about the backstage costume shop from your book, Death by Opera? And this book is having a new release in September of this year.
Yes, it is. And in fact, it's an entirely new title. And I'm keeping it under my hat for now, but I will announce it soon. And I think everybody's going to like this one. As I mentioned, this book number 2 takes place at Santa Fe Opera. And the excerpt I'm about to read is when Julia, our violinist, has just arrived in Santa Fe and is taking a tour of the opera house with the general director, who's named Alan. And they come to the costume shop. The costume shop is one of the largest divisions in the company, said Alan. It's recently been expanded by 5,000 square feet. Previously, it was a dark, cramped space with a few tiny windows and no air conditioning, if you can imagine, in New Mexico. We have twice as many fitting rooms now, 4 to be exact, plus an entire room just for threads, zippers, and other sewing necessities. We call it the vault. To Julia, the high-ceilinged, well-lit space looked as big as the Grand Central Station. She gaped at endless racks of costumes, stacked bins of accessories, and enormous work tables, too numerous to count. Perched on each table was a heavy hand iron with a long, thick cord attached to it at one end and attached to the ceiling at the other, she assumed to keep it from falling off the table. At the far end of the gargantuan space, she saw tables heaped with bolts of cloth, separated by dark and light shades in texture, and countless bins of fabric pieces in all sizes, colors, and textures, which were being sorted, measured, and cut by various assistants. We also have massive machines for washing and for dyeing, Ellen said. Julia ogled a row of huge steel drums that were hard at work churning and agitating. Wow, this is a lot for one wardrobe person to handle, or is it costume person? Costume director, Ellen said. Wardrobe is costume maintenance and running of the shows. Costume is building and altering costumes for the shows. And it is a lot of work. But our costume director, Magda, knows every inch of fabric, every detail of each costume. Julia walked over to a row of mannequins lined up side by side and admired one dressed in a slinky sequin 1920s era black dress. She smiled coyly. I wonder if they'd let me wear something like that in Pitt. I'm sure that can be arranged, Ellen said, smiling. He gestured toward a petite, ebony-haired woman who was draping fabric on another mannequin. Magda, this is Julia Kogan, our new orchestra concertmaster from the Metropolitan Opera. Magda works closely with the wig and makeup person and even the scenic shop. We must all work as a unit, said Magda to Julia. I dress singers. Daniel does makeup to coordinate with costumes, and Property Shop provides a safe background and props for them. No wonder it takes so much money to produce opera, Julia said. And more hours than you can imagine, said Magda.
Thank you so much for that reading. Oh, that was so great. Love this.
I had so much fun seeing all this stuff. You can't imagine.
Very creative. Is there something about the creative process of writing and marketing a book that is similar to the creativity and marketing involved in performing an operatic piece? Are there some skills that you really use in both?
I like to think there are crossover skills in both music and writing. When you're creating beautiful sounds and deep expression from your musical instrument, it's very similar to creating and crafting something beautiful on the page. Both efforts require creative thinking, but also great discipline. It's wonderfully exciting to create your characters and plot lines and weave them all together to tell stories. But in order to do that, you have to bring the same devotion and commitment to it that you do when you're practicing a concerto.
All the hard work behind all the beauty. In my mystery series, Catherine Watson in Cat Out of the Bag was living in Los Angeles near her business headquarters, which is, of course, on Rodeo Drive. And she moves to the fictional town of Bayside in the Seattle area and operates her purse empire then from there. Sometimes she really misses LA. Now, you've moved from New York to the Seattle area. What is one thing that you miss from New York? And then tell us, what's one thing that you love about the Pacific Northwest?
About New York, I miss the excitement of the city with its diversity, historic landmarks, and rich culture. But here in the Pacific Northwest, I love being surrounded with natural beauty, spectacular mountains, Puget Sound, one of the world's most gorgeous bodies of water. It really, truly is inspiring.
It is. Thank you so much, Erica, for sharing this fashion and fiction fun with us. 2 episodes. That's how much. And I think we could have gone for 3 or 4. You have so much fascinating insights, and it's just so fun.
Thank you. I had a blast. Thank you so much.
It's wonderful for everyone to know the care and thought and artistry that goes into the many different ways that there are to tell a story, whether it's an opera or a novel or so many other ways. And I want to thank you, listeners, for joining us. And I hope you did see episode 1 also. And please like this podcast and episode and subscribe so you never miss any of the future ones. Check out Erica Miner at her website, ericaminer.com, and her mysteries, including Aria for Murder, for great stories and more fashion insights. And you can find out more about me at wendywritesbooks.com. Erica's books and mine are available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all the online retailers, as well as independent bookstores. So thank you again very much, Erica.
Thank you, Wendy. I had an absolutely wonderful time, and I hope to do it again.
Yes, we will.